Imagine making $100,000 a year. You should be doing pretty well, right? A nice apartment, a reliable car, a healthy savings account, maybe even some investments. At least that's what most people think. But here's the reality. Millions of Americans are earning more money than ever before and still feel broke. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't work hard, and surprisingly, not even because they don't make enough money. So what's really happening? Why does your paycheck disappear so fast? Why does it feel like no matter how much you earn, you're always starting over? Today, we're exposing the invisible system that quietly keeps millions of people trapped in a cycle of financial stress. A cycle that gets stronger every year. And the worst part, most people don't even realize they're trapped inside it. Because once you see how this system works, you'll start looking at money completely differently. Welcome to Dollar Frequency. On this channel, we break down wealth, investing, money psychology, and the hidden rules that separate people who build wealth from people who stay stuck. If you're serious about improving your financial future, hit subscribe. Let's get started. Meet Michael. He's 31 years old. He works in software sales, lives in Dallas, Texas, and earns around $7,500 every month after taxes. Most people would look at Michael and assume he's doing great financially. He drives a nice SUV, lives in a modern apartment, has the latest iPhone, takes vacations, and seems successful from the outside. But there's a side of Michael's financial life that nobody sees. The moment his paycheck hits his account, the countdown begins. Within hours, money starts leaving. Car payment, student loan payment, credit card payment, phone financing, insurance, internet, subscriptions, streaming services, gym membership, one after another, like dominoes falling. By the end of the first week, nearly half of Michael's paycheck is already gone, and he hasn't even bought groceries yet. He hasn't filled up his gas tank. He hasn't gone out with friends. He hasn't done anything. The money simply disappeared. Sound familiar? Because this isn't just Michael's story. It's happening to millions of Americans. And here's where things get interesting. Most people believe they're struggling because they don't earn enough. But that's not always true. In many cases, the real problem is that future paychecks have already been promised away. Think about it. Every monthly payment is a claim on your future income. Every car payment, every loan payment, every financing plan, every credit card balance. Each one takes a small piece of every paycheck before you even receive it. And eventually something strange happens. You stop working for your future and start working for your past decisions. That's the paycheck reset cycle. Every month begins with hope and ends with the same question: where did all my money go? But if that's not the biggest problem, then what is? The answer is hidden in something most people never notice. And once you see it, you can't ignore it. Here's the biggest financial mistake most people make. They focus on individual payments instead of total payments. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine you're shopping for a new phone. The salesperson says, "It's only $35 a month." That doesn't sound bad. A few months later, you upgrade your car. The dealership says, "It's only $120 more per month." Again, doesn't sound terrible? Then comes new furniture. Buy now, pay later, just $50 a month. A vacation payment plan, another $80. A new laptop, another $45. Individually, none of these payments feel dangerous. In fact, they feel affordable. And that's exactly why they're dangerous. Because your brain evaluates them one at a time, but your bank account pays all of them at the same time. That's where the trap begins. Most people never wake up one morning buried under debt. They slowly build it, one small payment at a time. And every new payment quietly joins the stack: $35, $50, $80, $120, $200, until one day, you look at your monthly expenses and realize hundreds, or even thousands of dollars are leaving your account every single month before you've had a chance to make a single decision. And here's the part nobody talks about. The stack rarely gets smaller, because as soon as one payment disappears, another one takes its place. The phone gets paid off. A new phone gets financed. The car gets paid off. A newer car gets financed. One subscription gets canceled. 3 new ones appear. The payment stack never dies. It simply changes shape. And that's exactly why so many people feel stuck. Not because they're irresponsible, not because they're bad with money, but because they've accidentally built a financial system designed to consume every future paycheck. And what makes this even worse is that many of these payments are sold using one of the most powerful marketing tricks ever created, something called 0% financing. And what you're about to learn about it might completely change the way you spend money. Now let's talk about one of the smartest marketing tricks ever created: 0% financing. At first glance, it sounds amazing. No interest, no extra cost, No downside. Right. Not exactly. Because the real purpose of financing isn't to make products cheaper. It's to make expensive things feel affordable. Think about it. 2,000 Australian dollars TV feels expensive, but $55 a month. That feels manageable. 40,000 Australian dollars car feels expensive, but $599 a month. That suddenly feels reasonable. And that's where the psychology changes. You stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, can I afford the payment? Those are completely different questions. The first question protects your money. The second question sells your future. Retailers know this. Car dealerships know this. Credit card companies know this. That's why advertisements rarely focus on total price. They focus on monthly payments. Because monthly payments make expensive purchases feel painless. But every payment comes with a hidden cost. Not always in interest. Not always in fees, but in future flexibility. Every time you finance something, you're making a commitment to your future self. A future version of you that hasn't even earned that money yet. And eventually, those commitments begin stacking up. That's when financial stress starts showing up. Not because you're poor, but because too much of tomorrow's income has already been spent today. And that leads us to a cost that almost nobody talks about. A cost that never appears on a bill. Yet it's often the most expensive cost of all. Imagine two people, Michael and Sarah. Both earn the same income. Both have similar careers. Both are smart, but they make one different decision. Michael spends an extra $500 every month on financing plans, payments, and debt. Sarah invests that same $500 instead. At first, nothing looks different. 1 year later, still not much difference. 3 years later, the difference starts becoming noticeable. 10 years later, the gap becomes enormous. And 20 years later, they're living completely different financial lives. Why? Because of one concept: opportunity cost. Every dollar has a job. It can either fund your lifestyle today or build your wealth for tomorrow. And the scary part is that most people only see the purchase. They never see what they gave up. A financed phone isn't just a phone. It's money that could have been invested. A financed car upgrade isn't just a car upgrade. It's future growth that never happened. The average investor doesn't become wealthy through one lucky investment. They become wealthy because they consistently invest money over long periods of time. And time is powerful. Historically, the S&P 500 has returned roughly 10% annually over long periods. That means money invested today has decades to grow. Money spent today doesn't. And that's why wealthy people think differently. They don't ask, what can I buy? They ask, what is this purchase costing me in the future? That one shift in thinking changes everything. Because once you start seeing opportunity cost, impulse purchases become much less attractive. And financial freedom becomes much more valuable. So now the big question: if someone is already trapped in the paycheck reset cycle, how do they escape? Here's the good news. Escaping the cycle is actually much simpler than most people think. The bad news: it requires honesty. Step 1. Get clear on every single payment in your life. Every debt, every loan, every subscription, every financing plan, everything. Most people avoid doing this because it's uncomfortable, but you can't fix a problem you refuse to look at. Create a simple list. Write down the balance, the monthly payment, and how many months remain. For the first time, you'll see the complete picture, and that's powerful. Because uncertainty creates stress. Clarity creates control. Step 2. Focus on eliminating one debt at a time, not all of them. 1. Start with the smallest balance. Every extra dollar goes toward that debt. When it's gone, roll that payment into the next debt, then the next, then the next. This is called the debt snowball method. And while it may not be mathematically perfect, it works because humans aren't spreadsheets. Humans need momentum. Humans need wins. And every debt you eliminate creates confidence. Confidence creates action. Action creates results. Step 3. Before every major purchase, ask yourself one simple question: would I still buy this if financing didn't exist? Think about that. Would you still buy the phone, the furniture, the car upgrade, the vacation package? If the answer is no, then maybe you don't actually want the product. Maybe you only want the payment. And that's a dangerous place to be, because payments feel small, but they add up fast. And over time, they quietly steal options from your future. Every unnecessary payment you avoid today creates freedom tomorrow. Here's the truth: most people don't have an income problem. They have a payment problem. Their paycheck arrives and immediately starts working for everyone else. The bank, the lender, the credit card company, the financing company, everyone except them. And that's why earning more money doesn't automatically solve the problem. Because if spending habits don't change, a bigger paycheck simply creates bigger payments. The solution isn't just making more, it's keeping more, investing more, owning more of your own future. And once you understand that, everything changes. Because financial freedom isn't about looking rich. It's about having choices. It's about having control. It's about waking up knowing that your paycheck belongs to you, not to a list of payments waiting to be deducted. So here's my challenge to you. Take 5 minutes today. List every payment you currently have. Every loan, every subscription, every financing plan. Look at the number and ask yourself, how much of my future income have I already given away? Because that single exercise might be the moment your financial life starts to change. If you found this video valuable, subscribe to Dollar Frequency. And remember, financial freedom doesn't start when you earn more. It starts when you keep more of what you earn. I'll see you in the next video.